Hey everybody, Edo here, and recently I shared a video going over how to create an annual budget. I created a template that I gave and made available to folks, and I'd actually done this for just a project-based budget, and overall the response was fairly positive, and I was thinking about other things that I use with Pencil First Games that I felt would be useful for other folks. The next of which is our product catalog. Now, I don't think product catalogs are that fantastic, crazy, hard to understand. But last year we were doing a 360 type review of Pencil First Games. I actually worked with Off Duty Ninja, Kira Peevely, and Ian Birdsall, and looked at sort of the Pencil First Games business and how to improve it, and thinking about our retailer relationships, thinking about our relationships with distributors, and as part of that process, ended up bringing on Jessica as a sales manager, and also thinking about how to best work with and communicate. So we spoke with all of our distributors, retailers, talked with Marcelo and Alex and Clay and a number of sales managers for other companies, and really about those materials. And through that process, created our product catalog. And so this is just this what amounts to everything we learned and we put together. I have ours. I have, and I'm gonna in this case I'll keep both because it's not a budget. It's just a product calendar. I have ours. And then I have this template one, and I'll make it available. So I'm going to flip this around, and let's get started.
All right, so this is the Pencil First Games catalog. Now, before making this catalog, I actually used to do distributor updates or newsletters that I would send out, but I would just list the products in an email. And there's better ways to do it. And so what we've created here is really a spreadsheet that's easy for partners to review, get the key details, and share with their team, as well as sort of integrate into whatever reporting they have. There's some bells and whistles that I've added because I like to do that kind of thing. But the basic information is what we're going to be showing here. I'm going to walk through it. As I said, that look, this is our current catalog as of 1/19/2021. But your catalog will start here. We'll go over what is going on here. There it goes. I don't know why that took so long. But this is a template for you to use and make into your version. I think walking through mine in this case makes it a little easier. But, again, this is really what folks should copy and use. As I said, I got to get out of full screen for this. But if you are interested, I'm not giving anybody edit access. What you do is you make a copy. And when you make a copy, you'll get your own version. You name it after your company. You probably should delete the PFX catalog and move on. Now, for folks looking at this, if you're a publisher, a distributor, a retailer, and there's something missing, something you think should be added, something that's confusing, I certainly welcome the feedback. I'm not saying this is perfect, but if you were like me and literally just listed the names of your games in an email, this is a step up from that. So, all right, back to the Pencil First Games catalog. Let me go back to full screen here. So at the top here, our logo, the icon version, the full logo, Pencil First Games catalog. Our standard manufacturing code is PFX. I wanted it to be PFG, but that was used by somebody else. If you don't have one of these, it's something worth looking into from standard manufacturing code. This is used in the hobby industry to define your company. You don't, it's not a requirement, but it's most game companies do have it. It's good to include what a last update is, and for what it's worth, I brand this to our colors, right? I know the folks at Thunderworks Games have adopted this and used it in a little bit of a different way, but they have a different color scheme than I. So I think that type of branding is worth doing, but you don't have to, and you can certainly, if you go to this version of it and you just want to keep it in yellow and red, I'm not going to get offended. Red's a little aggressive. So there's really two sections to this version. There's the new and upcoming product, and then the full product list. To be clear, what's in the new and upcoming is in the full product list, and certainly when we were looking at other companies and versions of these, there were some that just didn't have this at all and only had the full product list. I think that's fine. You should do what you like, but if you're working with partners and you want to highlight something, this can be a good way to highlight it. You can also highlight something by making a to come out of full screen. I want to be in full screen, but if I want to make this whole row yellow, I'll just do that. And then I can highlight a change or something new. So whatever makes the most sense. I like the two sections, but you might your mileage may vary. You also may only have 3 or 4 titles, in which case having 2 rows is not a big deal. I mean, it is a big deal. Don't have 2 rows. So what information is here? Well, we have our code. This is the company code that we have on the sort of UPC white area, PFX. And then I started at 100, and every time I made a new game, I incremented up by 100. Maybe had I known how many games Pencil First Games would make, we should have incremented it a little differently, but that's okay. We'll see what happens as we go, but that's the approach we've been taking. You have the title of the game, fully written out here. The type, is it a base game? Is it an expansion? You might have some products that aren't retail or distributor focused. Like there's a couple Kickstarter mini expansions that Pencil First Games has done in the past that are just like for backers or from pencilfirstgames.com. I don't list them here. It's going to confuse people. You have the MSRP. This is what the product sells for. I mean, whether you have a MAP policy or not is a whole different conversation, not for this. But this is the MSRP. You're not going to say what cut some company's getting. They can do the math based on what they understand and know and based on your relationship. You have your UPC code, which is great. And, this is always useful to have available to you. You're going to have what case size it is, so how many come in a box. And, there's a different rationale to how many you should put in a box, but typically it's going to be 4, 6, 12, depending on the size of your game. It's useful to know what print run it is. Is it a new print? Is it a reprint? Or is it out of stock and there's no more reprint? It's sort of, on hold, right? I'm not making any more gem pack cards of the Siblings Trouble right now. In the case of Liftoff, Get Me Off This Planet, I did the expanded deluxe edition, but we actually had a new UPC. It was a new game. That's why it's listed there. So you're going to have its availability. Available, limited stock. Something that's not available yet but arriving, the Whatnot cabinet. Now, this will be updated soon because I think we're going to trend a little bit ahead April and maybe release mid to late March because we are already kicked off fulfillment. We'll make that final decision and update accordingly. But, this was from a while out when we didn't know exactly when it was going to be landing. So this is basically a target. The retail release. This is super useful information. Like there's the new games that are releasing currently or soon, but this is the release date when all the stuff came out. Like when Liftoff, Get Me Off This Planet hit retail, right? And that's useful for everyone to know and be aware of and having it here. You then have your dimensions: length, width, height, and the weight in kilograms and pounds. If you want to do inches, you can, or centimeters. Just don't mix it and match it or do both. That's up to you if you want to do columns. We've moved this way. We saw most of it was in this type of form. And, I find this super useful. I can't tell you how many times, like more than thinking about this just as a catalog for partners, this turns out to be like a catalog for me. Because when I don't remember what the code I used for something is, or the UPC, or I want to remember how big the box is, something great. I almost thought for a little while it'd be worth adding the card sizes of these games. It's not really appropriate for retailers and distributors necessarily, but the amount of times I get asked about card size for sleeving, I do want to have a table for those. But basically this is critical information. This information plus the case size is pretty good. Now, a number of product catalogs sort of end here, but we've incorporated a number of things. So one thing is we have a lot of resources available to our partners. So one, we have a sell sheet. Each game has its own sell sheet. Some of these are better than others, but it's going to be a one-pager on the game, why it's great, the UPC, if we have a deal or something, some of these have these, but these are, what the MSRP is. These are great for awareness and just part of the process. So let's see, I think, here's the Whatnot cabinet. This one went out fairly recently, but it's really going to talk about the game. It's effectively what's in the product catalog, but it's available to the distributor, but it can be passed to retailers and just shared, right? You have the box image, a nice resolution pick here for those who want to have the box. And if you want to do straight on or angled, you should be consistent. I don't know that we're consistent, honestly. I've been wanting to do a pass on all of our boxes, but you should have the box image. And then what we do at Pencil First Games is we have full marketing folders. So each game, and if you do Kickstarters, you have most of this stuff. It's labeled by the standard PFX code or number. There's the sell sheet. We have advertisements if we've done any of them. What is this? It's just like a banner, perhaps. Yep, oh, that's a Kickstarter banner without the word Kickstarter on it. But logos, component lists and images, reviews, box cover and images. I think these are probably like, oh, hey, we have a card shot. Retailers, distributors, sometimes they do marketing. These can be useful. I think, if I go to, like the Whatnot cabinet, we're building this one out still, but we can see some links to how to plays, different advertisements, some reviews we've had, just making this available to, I think we had some social advertising. So just making all this stuff available to our partners. They can use it a number of times. We get asked for dimensions of things that we don't know. Some partner would want it at a different size or dimension for their website, their banner. This is just useful. One of the interesting things we found was just with this format was sometimes, depending on your screen size, this was off screen, and that's why we added this. So this view all of our marketing materials. It's just the root directory for all those folders, and then they can go in there. So that's not, that's like just having redundancy if somebody doesn't see this, right? Like if the screen is scrolled off. Right now I'm in full screen. The other thing that we decided to add, which I think was very helpful, is like, I think when you're talking to distributors and retailers and other folks, everyone like gets into spreadsheet land, but by making just having the box art here below, there's a quick reference like, I don't remember what Sunset Over Water. Oh, that game. Or, oh, I remember, Legendary Creatures. That's what that box looked like. Oh, okay. Oh, Heroes and Tricks. So I actually think this is useful as well. Now, again, it does make it a little hard to, it's no longer a pure spreadsheet. Each of these regions are contained so that you can sort within the regions. So what is this actually sorted by now? Oh, availability maybe. We probably chose to order this, but and that's not, let's sort by name here, right? Sort alphabetically or by MSRP, right? Might be fun, right? To look at it. Box size, whatever. Release date. So you can start doing that, right? So this is the Pencil First Games, and I'm going to leave it here. Folks can mess with it or take a look. And from there, Legendary Creatures, I think I want to put this one here. No, but because it has that information. But you can look at it. In your catalog, hey, look, your logo here, your company name, code, the last update. I'm just noting that these are branded. You can fill this in with whatever you want. These are not links. These are just a call out for links. That's it. It's just a reference for you in terms of what you could have here. Again, maybe your company looks like, looks like this. That's fine. It's just good information. It's good habit. And ultimately, it ends up being, I didn't prep one in advance, but like this gets tagged onto all communications we have going out to partners, distributors, retailers, right? If at any point they want to know about what's available, what's in stock, price, any of these shipping details, they can just look and open it up. And then maybe when they do, they're like, oh, it's not on here yet, but like Mall Peak or like Floriferous are going to be coming out, right? So we'll add them in here and it'll be in the, arriving date, but then it just gets it on their radar, right? So again, this isn't a big thing. This is a small thing, but it was something that we didn't previously had, and we spent some time trying to figure out and make it. And I just wanted to make this available to other publishers and Kickstarter creators, whoever was sort of moving in this direction. Have any questions, comments, etc., let me know. Again, I hope these are useful. I feel like it's smaller and smaller groups of people that could use these things, but I wouldn't have mind a jumpstart and saving me a little time. So anyway, thanks a ton. Bye.
Hey everybody, Edo here, and thanks for watching Gaming with Edo. Reviews over here on this playlist, League and Insider videos over here on this one. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But most importantly, play some great games. Thanks.